Amy Klobuchar. Strengths. Let's see. She did give a few statistics here and there about how African-American women are paid 61 cents on the dollar for every dollar that a white man makes. And she did start a few stories. She started them, but she didn't finish them. With regard to gun control, she said that any issue that comes up, she asks herself as kind of a litmus or a sort of a gauge, would this hurt my Uncle Dick's gear stand? And that's a personal connection to the industry, and I think that's important. But she just asked that one question. I think she needed to talk us through the thought process and how that would influence her decisions and how it would help her to connect to other people like that. You have to make those extrapolations a bit more explicit because people won't otherwise. I do, however, give her credit for tactfully taking back the floor on something. And this is an issue that is often expressed by my female clients in corporate America, where they'll be talking about something and a man will say something very similar later on and seem to be getting the credit for it. And often then the woman will just sort of be frustrated that he sort of stole our thunder. And she didn't let that happen. Where Jay Inslee had referenced being the only person on the panel there to pass a law requiring insurance to cover abortion procedures in what's known as the public option, she jumped right in and said, the idea that I put out there, the public option, which the governor was talking about, so she's basically saying, look, he's talking about that, but that was mine. That's something that I've been working on. That's something, so she didn't, even though he didn't take it from her in the moment, she made sure that it was clear that that was an issue that she felt belonged to her and her record. So I give her credit for gracefully taking that back. I also give her partial credit for once again starting a great message, but dropping the ball. She said that one thing to know about her, in her closing statements, she said, I can win and beat Donald Trump. I've won every place, every race, every time. I've won in the reddest of districts, ones in which Donald Trump won by 20 points. Now, that's great stuff, but she should have stuck with that at the beginning, the middle, and the end, framing herself as a winner. This is something that Donald Trump did in 2016, and I guarantee he will do it again, framing himself as a winner and everybody else as losers. So she needs to begin and run with that narrative now. What battles has she won? If she can establish herself as a winner, she will have a lot more to go on, a lot more momentum in this race. And the more she says it, the more others will internalize it just because it'll stick in their minds. Now, vocally and visually, on the whole, she's generally likable. She's nice. She smiled at appropriate times. She's not threatening. She's not annoying. She didn't rub me the wrong way at any point or time. Frankly, it's also her weakness because it comes across as, well, it's not a problem. It's also very average, kind of vanilla. And that'll keep you in the middle of the pack until it puts you at the bottom of the pack. Nice alone or nice as a primary descriptor is not going to get the results that you want. Along those lines, some other weaknesses of hers, she had no sound bites. She had no fully delivered stories, as I mentioned before. She also deliberately avoided a couple of questions, like with regard to illegal border crossing and if it should be criminal or just a civil offense. And she just sort of pivoted and talked about generic pro-immigrant philosophies and stances. And personally, as a voter, that's one thing that I can't stand when candidates do. I can't stand when they do it, no matter what side they're on, Republican, Democrat, or otherwise. Have the integrity to answer the question. If it's clear that you're trying to skirt around an issue, then it means that either you don't have, to me, what it says is that either you don't have an answer, you haven't figured out where you stand yet, and you're avoiding, or you do have something that you believe that you want to happen, or you're afraid I won't, but you're afraid I won't like it, and that it'll hurt you in the polls. And either way, that's telling me that you're not going to let me know what I would be voting for if I vote for you. It's just a matter of integrity to me. All candidates should answer a question. Qualify it if you need, but don't dance around it. No tap dancing should be the rule. So enough on that point. And then with regard to her organization on a couple of answers, I think that also hurt her. So for example, with regard to the question of does she believe in free college? She did eventually get around to saying that she supports free community college, but she lost me first because she didn't get right to that response. She started out by prefacing some generic references to Trump and the economy and this and that, and I thought, she's avoiding the answer again. Now, fortunately, I stayed listening, and I did realize where she was going, but she almost lost me because it took her too long to get there. And I think most voters will have tuned out, just gone, she did it again. She's running away from the answer. You have to start with a soundbite. Where do you stand? Give me the soundbite, and then qualify with any other way you want. Again, there's nothing inherently wrong with her the way what she said or how she said it, but there was really nothing memorable either. So inherently average means inherently forgettable.